Yeah.
Alright, so this is my small YouTube, not really a studio setup that I unfortunately have to set up and tear down every time I need to record. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through everything I use, including the camera, the lens, the microphone, the light setup, and the background, which is my desk. Alright, so the camera I'm using is the Canon R6 Mark II, and I'm shooting in C-Log3 Cinema Gamut, and I shoot all my videos in 30 frames per second, so my shutter speed is at 1/60th of a second. The lens is the Canon RF 35mm f1.8 IS STM macro, and this lens is a very slow focusing lens, so I have a video on the channel showing you all the settings I use to be able to film these talking head videos without it pulsing all the time and being basically unusable. Alright, so in front of the lens, I have a KNF Concept 1/8 strand black diffusion filter, which is basically this filter, if it's gonna focus. I previously bought KNF Concept's Nano X series filters, which is their most expensive ones, and I found it really good, and that lives permanently on my 70-200. But then when I was in the market to get a filter for this lens, I chose to go with their Nano K series, which is their cheapest lens, and I think it works almost the same. I have a video coming soon on how I properly expose C-Log3 for skin tones, so subscribe and turn on post notifications if you're interested. And let me know down in the comments if you want to see a video on how I color grade C-Log3. Alright, so let's get on to the most exciting part for me, which is the microphone I'm using. This is the Shure SM57. It's basically a Shure SM7B, but a lot cheaper. And as you can hear, it sounds great. I really love this microphone. I have the Shure SM57 connected via XLR to my Focusrite Vocaster 1, which you can see right there. And the Vocaster 1 is connected via USB-C to my MacBook, which is why you can see the audio meters right here. At £39, which is the price I pay for this unit, this is the best, most affordable audio interface you can buy right now. And to be honest, if you don't need the HDMI capture features of the Rode Streamer X, this is the best alternative you can find. And just like the Rode Streamer X, it has 70 dBs of clean gain, so you're not going to be needing any cloud lifters even if you're using the Shure SM7B. Do let me know in the comments if you want to see a full review for this audio interface, because in my opinion, it's really good for the money. Alright, so even though the Vocaster 1 is connected directly to my Mac via USB-C, I'm not recording any audio on the Mac itself, which I can, by the way, but I'm not. But instead, I connected a 3.5mm extension from Rode called the VC1 directly from the Vocaster 1, and on the camera end, I have a Rode SC2, which is a 3.5mm TRS cable connecting from the extension to my camera. So basically, even though it's a bit of a long process, I'm recording the Shure SM57 directly into my camera. And if you like to know, I have the audio gaining camera turned all the way down to in between the first and the second lines. Alright, so that's about it with the audio, so now let's move on to the light setup. The light I'm using is the Godox SL150 Mark III, which is the third version of the SL150s, and I actually bought it on eBay. And on purchasing, I thought I was getting the SL152, which is the picture that was on the listing, but then when it came, it was the SL153, and to be honest with you, I wasn't mad about it, even though I can't really tell what they updated between the Mark II and the Mark III, because it looks the same, sounds the same, and functions almost the same. And I know that because I used to use the SL150 Mark II, but it's an update, so I guess I like it anyway. They probably improved something. The modifier I'm using is the NiceFoto 90cm parabolic softbox. This softbox is huge. I've had it for over 5 years, but recently I've been eyeing the Godox QR P120T, which is a mouthful by the way, because it's a shallower softbox and it won't take as much space, because at the moment this thing barely fits in the doors in my house. The whole setup is on a C-stand with an extension arm, and I tell you what, if you have a C-stand and you haven't got casters for it, just go on and get casters for it, because it improves the versatility of the C-stand by miles. I mean, I bought casters for my C-stand a couple of weeks ago and I'm loving it. You can just roll it wherever you want. It makes it a bit taller, so it's harder to fit through doors when the light is still on it, but then it works. Like it really works. So if you don't have casters, go ahead and treat yourself. The casters I have are from Celens or Celens. If you want to pick it up, it's on eBay for like £15 or something like that. Alright, so next on the list, which is what I make my list on for these videos, but then I'm not doing that today because I wrote everything down in my notebook, and that is a very old, and I mean very old, iPad Air that was gifted to me recently. It also has a second purpose of why it's here, because it also adds a fill light to this side of my face, bringing it up from the shadows a bit more. And then behind me is my desk setup. So first thing first is the desk. I actually made this desk myself with like some wooden slats that was laying around, and some MDF. And the desk is in the corner of my bedroom, which is a bit indented into the wall. The laptop I'm using is my trusty old M1 MacBook Air with 256GB storage and 16GB RAM. And for external storage, I use the Crucial X9 Pro. Oh, and I also edit from the Crucial X9 Pro. The monitor is the BenQ, and I have to read this out. EW2780U. It's a 27-inch 4K IPS monitor, which is pretty good colors for how much I got it for. I actually picked it up on eBay and it arrived with the speakers not working, but then the seller said it works, so. And I'm sure you know BenQ makes really good monitors, and this is one of them. It connects via USB-C to my Mac and supplies it with 60 watts power, so I don't have to have my Mac plugged in. The mouse is the Apple Magic Mouse, which I personally think is better than the Logitech MX series, which I have used before by the way, but I really prefer the Magic Mouse because of the touch functionality. And it's just better. Ergonomically though, it's pretty horrible, but then I don't really have big hands, so it doesn't really affect me as much. The keyboard is a generic Bluetooth keyboard that I picked up on Amazon. There isn't really much to see there. And I also have an Ulanzi mic arm for the Shure SM57 when I'm filming on my desk. There's also a plant from IKEA that I have on the desk to bring some life to the desk. And the lamp is also from IKEA, which I've had for the longest time. And in the lamp, there's a Philips bulb, which I control with the Wiz app on my phone. And I can also control it with Alexa and Siri shortcuts.
This might answer your question.
Siri shortcuts, by the way, doesn't really work well for this, so I barely ever use it. Alright, so now a bonus tip. If you film with your Mac in the background like this, there's an app on the Mac App Store called Amphetamine, which can keep your Mac display on indefinitely so it doesn't go off when you're filming videos like this. And that is basically what I use all the time when I'm filming, talking at videos like this with my Mac in the background. The same developer, I think, also has an app called Display Picture, which can add rounded corners to your display if that's something that interests you. Alright, so that's about it with my very little YouTube corner studio, not so much of a studio setup. Let me know if you have any questions for me down in the comments. And if you did like this video, consider subscribing and hit the post notification bell to be notified anytime I post. Thanks a lot for watching, and do have a nice day, will you? Cheers.